In most countries, you walk into a Burger King and order a Whopper. In Australia, you walk into Hungry Jack's and order the exact same thing, but legally distinct. It's like finding out your favorite superhero is called Captain Australia in one country and you're just expected to go along with it. But Hungry Jack's wasn't just Burger King's quirky Aussie cousin, it flourished. In a market where global giants dominate and fast food chains fall faster than New Year's resolutions, Hungry Jack's somehow made itself a permanent fixture in Aussie life. So, how the heck did a legal technicality become a national icon? Why did Burger King fail in Australia? And how did Hungry Jack's go from 1990s afterthought to Gen Z friendly fast food brand with actual cultural relevance? This is the story of the burger brand that sued its creator, outlived its American twin, and became more Aussie than a servo meat pie at 2 a.m. Let's rewind to 1971. Burger King is expanding globally, likely high on the smell of flame-grilled beef and American exceptionalism. But when they reach Australia, surprise, someone already owns the Burger King trademark. That someone was a small Adelaide burger shop, and Burger King couldn't exactly strong-arm their way into court like they do in other markets. So what did they do? They called up Jack Cowan, a Canadian-born entrepreneur who had only moved to Australia a few years earlier, and handed him the franchise rights. Now, fun fact, Hungry Jack's wasn't even Jack's idea. Burger King handed him a pre-approved list of backup names, and Hungry Jack, a name used for pancake mix in the US, was the least bad option. Imagine the alternatives. Flamey Tim's? Anyone? So Hungry Jack's opened its first store in Perth in 1971, selling what was essentially the Burger King menu under an alias. Kind of like a witness protection program, but for fast food. And it worked. Hungry Jack's expanded, especially across Western Australia and Queensland, and slowly took root in Aussie suburbia. But corporate harmony doesn't last forever, especially when Americans want their brand back. By the 1990s, Burger King, the US parent company, wanted to exert more control over their Aussie offshoot. Because apparently, having someone else run your franchise with local insight and a deep understanding of the market was just too easy. So in the late 90s, Burger King accused Hungry Jack's of breaching its franchise agreement. Their claim? That Jack Cowan was moving too slowly on opening new stores, which is rich, considering Burger King's own international track record is spotty at best. Then, things got spicy. Burger King decided to open its own Burger King branded stores in Australia, competing with Hungry Jack's, essentially competing with itself. It didn't take long before Jack Cowan hit back hard with a lawsuit in 2001. And in what can only be described as the reverse Uno card of the century, Cowan won. The Australian court ruled that Burger King had acted in bad faith, breached its agreement, and had to pack up and leave the country. Burger King pulled out in 2002, and all its Australian stores were rebranded as Hungry Jack's. So yes, Jack Cowan successfully sued Burger King, using their own name to get rid of them. Legend. After that legal victory, you'd think Hungry Jack's would be on top of the world, but by the early 2000s and 10s, things weren't looking great. Stores were outdated, service was inconsistent, McDonald's was expanding like it was playing Monopoly on steroids. KFC had discovered the irresistible power of deep-fried everything, and Subway was still convincing people it was healthy. But Hungry Jack's, it looked like it had stopped trying. But Cowan wasn't done. He launched a massive refresh. He made store revamps with slicker interiors, added self-service kiosks, introduced barista-quality coffee, incorporated mobile ordering, and added new menu items to cater to health-conscious consumers. They also brought in the Rebel Whopper, their plant-based alternative, before most major competitors in Australia even thought about going faux meat. Big move. But here's where it gets clever. They started marketing to Australians as Australians, less corporate and more cultural. Ad campaigns leaned into cheeky Aussie banter. They sponsored sports teams. And, plot twist, they got involved in something that had absolutely nothing to do with burgers. Enter Are You OK Day. Are you okay? is a national campaign that encourages Australians to check in on friends and family, aiming to promote mental health and prevent crisis situations. Hungry Jack's partnered with the Are You OK Foundation by introducing donation points in stores, running awareness campaigns, and launching support initiatives for staff. Unlike some brands, they kept the messaging straightforward without making it feel overly commercial or forced. While Hungry Jack's doesn't have the same brand power or reach as McDonald's in Australia, this move showed an understanding of younger audiences who tend to value authenticity over polished corporate messaging. It might not instantly change consumer loyalty, but it's a step toward building a more relatable brand image, one that speaks to values as well as value meals. Today, Hungry Jack's operates over 440 stores across Australia, making it one of the largest private fast food networks in the country. Jack Cowan? He's now a billionaire, still the chairman of Competitive Foods Australia, and possibly the only guy alive who beat Burger King at their own game, in court no less. But what makes Hungry Jack's fascinating isn't just the burgers or the brand loyalty, it's that it stuck to its guns. It evolved without giving in to bland corporate sameness. What they did that worked significantly were embracing the digital age early, tapped into local humor and slang, targeted gamers and sports fans, and knew when to shut up and support a real cause, instead of slapping rainbows on their logo once a year and calling it progress. They've managed to keep the weird, wonderful identity of being Burger King but not, and in doing so, became uniquely Aussie. So next time you're strolling through an Aussie suburb and spot that flaming red sign that says Hungry Jack's, take a second look. It's not just a fast food joint with a quirky name, it's the product of one of the strangest brand battles in corporate history. A burger chain that didn't just survive being sued by its American parent, it won, took over, and told Burger King to take their crown and leave. It's the story of a guy named Jack, a trademark no one expected to matter, and a franchise that went rogue, dug in, and flame-grilled its way into Australian culture. Hungry Jack's isn't the knockoff. In Australia, it's the original. So yeah, grab your Whopper, maybe check in on your mate with an "Are you okay?" And remember, sometimes the best business stories start with a legal technicality and end with a billion-dollar empire. But what do you think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below and let's discuss. And if you enjoyed this story, give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell so you never miss out on more deep dives like this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, stay curious.